adjudicators, members of this noble house, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In times of need, we are everybody's friend and family. In crises like poverty, economic breakdown, terrorism, or outbreak of diseases, we should help each other like one family because we belong to the same race. The human race. We might be divided in our ideas, color, language, and religions, but we must let humanity prevail. If a certain country is in crisis, we, the countries that are better off, has the privilege to share in order to help. This help is referred to as developmental aid, which is intended primarily for development of the country. But as a generous country, we should also know where does our help go. Does it really help? So we should see to it that the government of the certain country we are helping will use the aid for their development. We don't want our help to be wasted or used inappropriately. Thus, we, the government side, hereby purpose that this House would not give developmental aid to countries with authoritarian governments. In this motion, we have the following key terms. Number 1, developmental aid, and number 2, authoritarian governments. Developmental aid is a financial aid given by governments and other agencies to support the economy, environmental, social, and political development of developing countries. Examples of governments are America, Europe, and Sweden. And examples of agencies are the UN, the World Bank, Europe, and other helping agencies. And authoritarian governments are governments characterized by strong central power and limited political freedoms. Individual freedoms are subordinate to the state and there is no constitutional accountability. Under an authoritarian regime, examples of authoritarian governments are North Korea, Syria, Chad, Central African Republic, Arabia, and Congo. As a mechanism for our policy, before we send our aid to a target countries, we will check first how the government of that country runs. If we prove that the certain country is ruled by an authoritarian government, we will withdraw our developmental aid and give it to other countries who are ruled by non-authoritarian government, particularly those countries whose leaders are not corrupt and we can trust that we will use the aid as intended. In qualifying a government as authoritarian, we need to be keen. We will look into the following points for consideration. Firstly, political pluralism, which is diversity within political body. Second, social mobilization. And lastly, definition of executive. Moving on, our first argument is authoritarian governments are led by leaders who prioritize their personal agenda to remain in power and to maintain the status quo. If foreign aids come, the authoritarian leader will have the power to decide on to how they will use the aid. The possibility is the aid for the food of poor might be spent on boosting military forces, which we don't want to happen. The remaining two arguments will be discussed by the Deputy Prime Minister. With this, we are proud to propose. Thank you and have a great day.
Hear you.
I thank the Prime Minister and now I would like to recognize the Leader of Opposition to open the opposition's
Hello to everyone. Now the leader of the opposition is going to start. We agree that the opposition team that giving developmental aid plays a huge role in economic growth and adaptation to better ethical treatment in authoritarian governments. We would like to let you know that the concept about authoritarianism is always taken in the wrong way, because it can also be interpreted as an integrated representative of one country with the power to manage a nation, making decisions that can be discussed faster and with more efficiency. Also to say that developmental aid should be referred as economic, natural, and human progress with hope. We believe that concentration of power in a government, just like authoritarian systems, can work faster and create a security environment for the civilians. We also believe that developmental aid is an efficient way to encourage the industrialization to improve economics. Bad management of the aids also occurs in democracy, for example in Ghana or Chad, where the aids given are not good administrated. That's why we propose to control and supervise that the given aids are being used as an efficient way with the help of our extra organizations such as World Bank. We know this can be a productive and intelligent decision that helped the giving aids to developmental countries with an authoritarian government. We also think that a centralized power is great for developmental political stability and economic benefits, because it helps in the long-term economics to achieve the plan of economy. So we agree using developmental aid to improve all the areas of the society, such as labor, education, technical assistance, and international relationship with these countries, to become a fictional government between them. In this speech, I'm going to speak about how to support and how this giving developmental aids will help to support international relationships and also to make economic growth in the countries. As a support and a good international relationship, this is said that we can be practicing the human rights as helping people to have a better life with the rights and having a house, education, food, and a decent work that comes with the developmental aids given to these authoritarian countries. Given aids, it can also encourage the government to a positive implementation of economic. For example, United States have given economic aid to Chile since the authoritarian President Pinochet was controlling everything, and with a good management of it, the country developed positively, turning into a democracy. This meant that they support international relationships and they had good results in the application. We also know that the moral tell us to help develop the third world countries. This is why giving aids can help in a fast way to make a lot of people's life better. If we give aids, we will be supporting the Declaration of the Human Right to promote the right for a decent and better life with economic growth. As we said, we believe that the most effective way of giving aids is the transparency that makes a good management of aid, to create a governance with an authoritarian regime, which will make this to the donor that thinks that the money is safe in the country that is receiving it, being transparent. Developmental aid causes a positive impact towards poor countries. Supporting the international relationships can improve the country's economic and guide the country to democracy and equality of conditions. Therefore, we think giving money to authoritarian governments help development, encourage the equality of conditions, make an effective, fast solution for a problem we've been struggling with for decades, and also obey the human rights and the Declaration of the United Nations and to help the others help to have a better condition. So we strongly believe that the aids can help to create a better global security and development in the third world. Thank you for listening to my speech.
I thank the leader of opposition, and I would like to invite the Prime Minister.
and gentlemen, good afternoon. We, the government side, stand firm that we would not give developmental aid to countries with authoritarian governments. The Prime Minister has already discussed to you the situation and the mechanic of our policy. My responsibility is to give to you the remaining arguments, which are the grounds of our proposal. But before that, let me clarify and rebut some points given by the leader of the opposition. From the leader of the opposition said that authoritarian government develop education, technology, environment in that country. Are you sure with it? For example, like North Korea, we can see they use their force to their own country to make military to fight other country. They don't force think focus. That's the things to fight war. Those for develop technology or environment. Moving on, our second argument is authoritarian governments usually focuses on developing their military forces rather than their economy. We have learned in our history lesson that most, if not all, authoritarian governments have had bloody revolutions because as time goes by abuses of power become rampant and out of control. Usually, authoritarian governments who enjoy the pleasure of absolute power tend to be bloody that is justified. While enjoying power, they are inclined to developing their military powers further. The best example is during the Nazis. We fear that the authoritarian government wouldn't commit to developing their people's economic status. We fear that they would use the funds in developing their military forces. It is not that we would like to deprive them of assistance. We just want them to realize first that the welfare of the citizens should be our main priority. Our third argument is developmental aids should be used for development. The main reasons why we send developmental aid is because we would like to help uplift the economic status of a country. The welfare of every citizen, especially the poor suffering from poverty, diseases, and inequalities, is our main concern. If the people under authoritarian government has limited freedom and voices, how can we assure them access to the aid? As a foreign body, our influence is limited. We cannot intervene to their way of government unless there is a consensus, but it seldom happens. The assurance that the developmental aid will serve its purpose is so unclear. Therefore, we would rather not give developmental aid. Instead, we will give aid to those countries whose government and non-authoritarian. Thank you.
I thank the Deputy Prime Minister, and now I would like to recognize the Deputy Leader of Opposition.
Hello, I am the Deputy Leader of Opposition. Well, in our opinions, for rebuttals, it's true that the aid reaches our level in government before it is given to people who really want, but after that, aid is used to produce and make what people want, like social environment and buildings. We believe that we will be able to have more decisive action as a leadership truly know what is best for the community through their authoritarian regime. Money riches bureaucracy. First, there's not enough money left for poverty people, so there's more gap between rich and poor people. But there's still a solution for it by advocating that the poor have the same rights as the rich everywhere, so they can aid themselves. Second argument is about social equality with economic freedom. Every people have right to receive the right to give, so this means that people in authoritarian government have rights to receive developmental aid from those developed countries too. It can be given through organizations who allocate money and suggest how to use that amount of money, like some organizations manage money to cover health care and economic growth, and nearly 40% of budget goes to organizations like UN and Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, and send that money to those recipient countries. This shows that everyone has rights to get benefit from that developmental aid, and everybody have rights to donate too, because developmental aid can be used to develop society, so it also provides economic freedom. Therefore, we think that to give developmental aid to countries with authoritarian government is better because that can help people in areas of social development. It is right of people to decide if they will give developmental aid or not. They should not be forced by the government to give or not give developmental aid to those countries with authoritarian government. Third argument is about ability to support economic growth. Developmental aid creates abilities to increase economic and social resources. If there is no corruption, developmental aid would have a better result. Because authoritarian government is just only one leader or small group of people control areas of life. For example, Egypt is a country that received most of the developmental aid, which about $5.5 billion. Egypt has struggled to fight with political stability. It seems help Egypt as it become moderate economic growth up to receive the aid, so show that it create economic growth no matter in authoritarian regime or democratic regime or others. So giving developmental aid is not that harm. It can help lots of people such poverty and through facing with deadly disease. So there will be more people who have ability to develop a country to become a developed country. So more developed countries, there will be less developing countries and more functional democracy. So maybe can decrease authoritarian government by pushing democracy into authoritarian, and they will become a dependent to donor countries, as my first speaker said, so make the world become more peace. Therefore, we believe that giving developmental aid to authoritarian regime will help the economic growth. Such long-term government can continue doing what they brought to development, and aid is helpful for leaders to have option to carry out their plan. Thank you.
I thank the Deputy Leader of Opposition, and now I would like to invite government leaders to conclude the government's aid.
Adjudicators, their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We, the government side, would not give developmental aid to countries with authoritarian government, and we remain strong in our proposition. The main issue of this debate is
the security and efficiency of the developmental aids. We need to make sure that developmental aids achieve its main purpose of being as much as possible. We want that these developmental aids will be sufficient enough to at least alleviate the poverty, most especially. The Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister